Hey everyone, welcome back to Celebrate Daily, where we give you the straight story on global and political news. I'm your host, and today we're talking about something huge: the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This has the whole country on edge. Kirk, the Turning Point USA guy, was shot and killed on September 10, 2025, while giving a speech at Utah Valley University. One bullet. And that was it. Now everyone is worried about even more political craziness happening in the US after Trump. So who's this Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old who did it? Why did he do it? Was it something personal? Or was he just really mad about politics? Or is there something bigger going on here? We're going to look at all the messed up clues, texts that point to Robinson's guilt, even bullets with memes on them, and try to figure out what made him do this. We're also going to talk about how this could make things even worse when it comes to how divided everyone is in America, with whatever happens going forward. So, get ready, because this is a story about hate, feeling bad about it later, and the really dark side of people getting radical online. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. We've got a lot more to get into. Let's go. Charlie Kirk wasn't just some talking head. He was like a magnet for strong feelings in the conservative world. What he said could either get people really excited or super mad. Born near Chicago in '93, he started Turning Point USA with a friend back in high school in 2012. It grew into a big group that pushes for free markets, smaller government, and in a way that some people didn't like, a very tough stance against anything woke. By 2025, after Trump won again in 2024, Kirk was even more out there. He led the American Comeback Tour, basically a bunch of events at colleges to get young conservatives pumped up against what they saw as threats from liberals. He didn't hold back. He went after transgender rights, immigration stuff, and what he called the radical left's attack on American values. Some folks said he was spreading lies, like when he kept saying transgender people were doing mass shootings. But the gun violence archive had numbers that showed that was totally not true, like less than 0.1% of all shootings. But his fans, millions of them, thought he was awesome, a guy standing up for old-school values when everything was changing so fast. His events got huge crowds, with energetic speeches and Comp A sessions that often turned into shouting matches. On September 10, 2025, he was at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, a pretty conservative school where he should have felt safe, and the tour was going strong. Lots of people were there, even families, to hear him talk about things he cared about: free speech on campus, fair elections, and on that day, some supposed that tied transgender people to gun violence. No one knew that nearby, on a roof, a killer was watching. Okay, imagine this. It's a clear fall day in Utah. The Wasatch Mountains are like big quiet protectors in the distance. Inside a UVU auditorium, you've got students, parents, activists all chatting. American flags and Turning Point USA banners are all around. Charlie Kirk gets on stage, full of energy, answering a question about recent shootings. He makes his point, which will cause disagreement. Too many of these awful events are linked to the left's extreme ideas about gender. The crowd reacts. Some are happy, others look uneasy. Suddenly, a loud bang from outside. Kirk grabs his neck. There's blood, and he falls. Everyone panics. People scream and try to protect their kids. Security comes running. One shot from a strong rifle, a Mauser 98 with a scope, hit Kirk in the neck, barely missing people, even young kids. Medics show up fast, but it's no use. Kirk is gone. The shooter? Vanished. In all the chaos, a rifle is found near campus. It's wrapped in a towel with used bullet casings. There are weird messages on them like, "Hey fascist, catch," with arrows, and "Notice his bulge." Oh whoa. What's this? Just strange internet jokes and anti-fascist comments. Another casing has "O Bella Ciao," lyrics from an old Italian anti-fascist song, even though the suspect said it was mostly a big meme. This wasn't random. It was careful, planned, and political news. News choppers fly above and the FBI arrives. The whole country is shocked. Who hated Kirk enough to do this in such a public, brutal way? The answer came from someone unexpected. A quiet kid from the Utah suburbs. Here's Tyler Robinson, this 22-year-old who's suddenly all over the news. People who know him, neighbors, friends, his folks, they all say he was a squeaky clean, considerate, and respectful guy. He grew up in a normal house near St. George, Utah. Red rocks, ATV trails, family cookouts. His parents are Republicans who voted for Trump back in 2024, but they weren't super into politics. Just good, down-to-earth, nice people who liked hunting and being outdoors. Tyler's dad, who's a licensed hunter, gave him an old family rifle from his granddad. Turns out it might be the one used in the shooting. Tyler's record was clean. No arrests. Nothing. He was doing an electrician apprenticeship at Dixie Technical College after dropping pre-engineering at Utah State. Looking at his social media, he seemed like a regular guy. Vacation pics, his mom bragging online back in 2020 about his AP calculus grade, and family hunting photos with guns. But things changed somehow. His mom told the cops that over the last year, Tyler got more political, swinging hard left. He started backing gay and trans rights, which was the opposite of his family's MAGA views, especially after Trump got re-elected in January 2025 when his dad became pretty diehard MAGA. This caused problems at home. A while back, at dinner, Tyler mentioned Kirk's UVU event, calling it a stupid venue and saying he didn't like him and the viewpoints he had. Also, Tyler was dating his roommate, who was transitioning from male to female. Utah Governor Spencer Cox talked about it publicly, saying it was part of Tyler's changing way of seeing things. His friends can't believe it. A neighbor, Kristen Schwierman, said he was a good kid, and a family friend admitted he was just stunned. So, how does a quiet guy become someone who does this? The answer might be in what he did and said online, and the things he's now sorry about. The search for Robinson kicked off right after the shooting. Cops swarmed UVU, checking security camera videos that showed a blurry pic of the shooter on the roof. He managed to stay away from the cops for over a day, but things started going wrong quickly. That night, Robinson texted his partner from where he was hiding. "Stop what you're doing, check under my keyboard." There was a note saying something like, "I could have taken out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to do it." His partner was shocked and confronted him, and Robinson just spilled everything. "You didn't do it, right?" his partner asked. "I did, I'm sorry," he replied. He went on to say, "I was fed up with his hate, talking about Kirk's speech that day about transgender mass shooters. Some hate just can't be reasoned with," he said, showing how annoyed he was with Kirk's views. He planned it all carefully. He'd been watching the event for about a week, using his grandpa's rifle. He was worried about getting it back after the shooting, like I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back grandpa's rifle. The evidence confirmed it. Robinson's DNA was all over the trigger, the rifle, the shell casings, and even the towel used to hide it near the place. He told his partner to delete the texts and to stay quiet if the police ask, trying to mess with witnesses as it was happening. Before giving himself in, Robinson seemed to post a confession on Discord where he said, "I'm sorry for all this. Investigators got screenshots to prove it." His family figured it out too. His mom saw him in the security photo on TV the next day. This led to some intense phone calls where he implied he was guilty and talked about wanting to end it instead of going to jail. With help from a family friend who was a retired deputy sheriff, Robinson finally surrendered late on September 11, 2025, ending the search. Governor Cox announced, "We got him," and the reasons and how he did it became clearer. But the real reason why he did it was still a question. Okay, so digging into the evidence, it's like a digital look at how someone gets seriously radicalized, and it reads like a crazy thriller. The Utah County lawyers built aerially bad case, accusing Robinson of 7 things. The worst kind of murder for the killing and putting people, even kids, in danger. Shooting a gun and causing bad injuries. Hiding the rifle in his bloody clothes to mess with the law. Trying to shut up witnesses by telling them to delete stuff. And doing something violent when kids under 14 were right there. They might give him the death penalty because County Attorney Jeff Gray says he was targeting people for political reasons. Gray said it was all about the proof, what happened, and how bad the crime was. When Robinson showed up in court on September 16, 2025, it was super serious. He was on video from jail in a green suicide prevention outfit. And he didn't react when they said what he was charged with. He didn't say he was guilty or admit anything to the cops, but his texts say a lot. He texted his love after the shooting and said he was hoping no one would ever find out and that he was sorry she got mixed up in it. He called the stuff he had written on the bullets a big joke, but it mixed dumb humor with really dark stuff, like mentions of fascism, internet stories, and songs against authority, like Bella Ciao. His Discord chats didn't have a ton of details, but he said sorry there too, just like in the texts, sounding almost like he felt bad. The investigators didn't find anyone else involved. No big plan, no partners in crime. Just one guy turned crazy by what he saw online. He didn't say what party he belonged to when he registered to vote in July 2021, but he seemed to support trans rights, which is the opposite of what Kirk was saying. One expert might say this is a prime example of online craziness. Angry feelings hidden in memes and personal problems blowing up and causing someone to act. His dad said the rifle was a family thing, a tool for hunting that became a weapon for his beliefs. The next court thing is on September 29 online, and Robinson is still locked up with no bail. His perfect life is totally destroyed. Okay, so this Charlie Kirk thing isn't just a crime, it's a big deal in America's never-ending political fight. Governor Cox is calling Kirk's death a political hit, and Trump's people agree. Trump even said it's a bad time for America and wants to crack down on liberal groups that he thinks cause violence. People are putting up memorials everywhere, like at the Kennedy Center and Turning Point USA's HQ. It's strange timing too, since it happened soon after Trump started pushing conservative rules about gender and guns. Kirk's speech that day was all about trans people and shootings, which, even though it's blown out of proportion, scares some people on the right. The numbers don't back it up, but in today's media, facts change to fit what people already believe. Robinson says he did it because he hated Kirk's hatred, so it's a left-leaning person striking back at what he sees as fascism. We see stuff like this worldwide, like with riots in the UK and fights with the far right in Europe. But in the US, things are worse because it's easy to get guns, and people only see stuff on social media that agrees with them. The Second Amendment is back in the news. How does an old gun become a weapon for killing someone? Turning Point USA says they'll keep going on tour, but schools are getting more security because they're scared others will do the same thing. News places like Al Jazeera and BBC are saying it shows how extreme the US is and wondering if Trump's words cause people to retaliate. Here at home, it could get Trump's supporters fired up, which might get more people to vote or get laws passed to punish hate crimes more. But the lawyers are saying Robinson is innocent until proven guilty, and it's up to a jury to decide if his beliefs made him murder someone. In a country where politics feels like war, Kirk's death isn't the end, it's a warning sign. Think about the people affected, not just the news. Kirk's family and fans are crushed. His voice is gone, leaving a hole in young conservative activism. Turning Point USA, which is already huge, will have to find a new leader. Maybe Candace Owens or someone else will take over, but it's going to be tough emotionally. People are holding vigils, feeling sad but also determined. They're chanting, "Charlie's fight goes on." On the other hand, Robinson's family feels betrayed and heartbroken. His parents, who voted for Trump, now see their son as the bad guy. It must have been awful for his mom to see his picture and know what he did. His partner, who was revealed in court documents to be transitioning, is now in the public eye against their will. Their private messages are out there for everyone to see. The community is shocked. People in Utah's conservative towns are whispering, "How could this happen here?" LGBTQ+ advocates are worried about the reaction. They're afraid Kirk's death will make people blame trans issues even more. The local economy might take a hit. Fewer people might go to events at UVU, and tourism in Orem could drop. Across the country, more money will go to security companies. Other countries are paying attention. The BBC in the UK is covering the trans angle, linking it to culture wars around the world. Al Jazeera in the Middle East is questioning whether the US is being hypocritical about violence while there's tension in Gaza. This assassination is part of a bigger picture of what's going on in 2025, like election audits and border problems. As Trump's administration considers changes, will this event bring people together or push them further apart? Experts think things will get even more divided. Right-wing media will say it's leftist terror, while the left will say it's fascist provocation. There will be more talk about gun laws, but with a Republican Congress, it's unlikely anything will change. Robinson's case could set a new standard. Will he get the death penalty for a political hit? It's a complicated legal situation that the whole world is watching. To get to the bottom of why people get radicalized, we have to look at those weird online echo chambers where memes can turn into serious beliefs. Robinson's bullet writings, like "Hey Fascist," "Catch," and gaming references like OWO, are totally internet culture stuff, like 4chan and anti-fascist stuff from Reddit. It wasn't some big plot, just one guy going down a rabbit hole. Maybe he was on Discord arguing about Kirk's opinions, watching TikToks about trans rights, and fighting with his family about MAGA stuff. What changed him? Probably the 2024 election. Trump winning made conservative views on gender stuff stronger, like banning trans kids from getting care and playing sports. Kirk was a good example of this thinking. He said there were too many trans shooters at UVU, but he ignored the facts that most gun violence comes from family problems, not someone's identity. Robinson's texts, "I had enough of his hatred," show he had personal reasons. He was dating a trans person and felt threatened. This isn't new. The FBI says that attacks by lone people from both sides are up 30% since 2020. You see similar things around the world. Leftist plots in Brazil when Bolsonaro was in power, and far-right stabbings in France under Macron. In the US, threats have doubled since January 6th. Kirk's fame made him a target. The cops are reacting fast, but they're stretched thin. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force is in charge, but they don't have enough resources because of the border situation. Schools are doing more mental health checks, but people can still hide online. Platforms like Discord are being watched. Will they get rid of political chats? Trump's people want anti-extremism laws that target left-wing groups, but that could lead to censorship. For the US, this hurts its image. Allies are wondering if American democracy is stable, and countries like China are pointing to American chaos. Kirk is now seen as a hero by some, which is feeding conservative youth. If Robinson is found guilty, he'll be either a warning or a bad guy, depending on who you ask online. Okay, now that things have calmed down a bit, the legal stuff is moving ahead, but the story is all over the place. Robinson's hearing on September 16th showed him calm in his prison clothes. He has a court-appointed lawyer, and he's still in jail. The prosecution is really pushing the idea that this was politically motivated, saying he was targeted due to his views, which makes the death penalty more possible in a conservative place like Utah. His lawyers might say he has mental health problems, or that he fell into radical ideas, or that he had family problems. He hasn't said if he's guilty or not, but texts already make him look bad to most people. Afterward, people made memorials with flowers and posters. The Turning Point Place in Phoenix has become a place people visit. Politically, Trump is using this, saying it was a bad time, and hinting that liberals pushed him to do it. Democrats are being careful, saying violence is wrong while also saying Kirk's words are bad too. The talk about guns is back. Mauser rifles, family guns used to kill. Some want stricter gun laws, but the NRA doesn't. In other countries, The Guardian says to look at the trans situation and warns that others in Europe might do the same. The BBC's report from Provo talks about families that are broken up and a town in shock. Al Jazeera is looking at the charges and how rare the death penalty is. The Washington Post is looking at Discord and how chats might be important in future cases. NBC is talking about how he went from a good kid to a suspect, showing how easy it is to become radicalized. For us, this shows how crazy 2025 might be. Now that Trump is gone, the country is even more split, and violence is close to the surface. Will this bring people together against extremism, or will things get worse? Okay, so the Charlie Kirk assassination in Utah, it's way bigger than just a local thing. It's a sign of how messed up things are in America. Tyler Robinson's story, with all the crazy details, shows how personal stuff can blow up into huge national problems. We've looked at everything, what happened, why, and what's next. But the big question is, can the US fix itself? Or will this just make things worse? Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you see this coming? Like, comment, and subscribe if you want more takes on the world. See you next time. Stay smart and be careful.